Hello and welcome to Defend Stirling Castle. My name's Daniel, I'm an engineer, and I'm interested in all things tech and security. You're joining me and Craig for this very special cyber skills live lesson celebrating Scottish connections worldwide. Today, you're going to get a history lesson, but you're also going to learn cybersecurity skills in our interactive game. That's right, and today we're coming to you from the gardens of Stirling Castle. Thank you for joining us. Now, Scotland has a history of forming international alliances, and our alliance today is made up of all of you. Daniel, we've got people joining from around the world today. People taking part from Texas, Georgia, Nebraska, Indiana, New Hampshire. And Craig, we've got people joining from other places in the world too. We've got people joining us from Ireland, Zimbabwe, New Zealand, and South Africa. Craig, that's a big alliance. Brilliant. So you're going to have to play alongside us today in Scotland to protect this iconic Scottish landmark. So we're also lucky to have Kirsten, who's a learning officer here at Stirling Castle, and she's going to be on hand to answer some of your questions. Hi, Kirsten.
Hello and welcome to Stirling Castle. So what has cybersecurity to do with the castle? Well, in the past, people inside the castle had to be protected. So in this castle, it would be the kings and queens of Scotland, and in other castles, the lords and ladies. But also their possessions had to be protected. And the most important possessions in Scotland in the past were the honours of Scotland, now known as the crown jewels of Scotland, which are now housed in Edinburgh Castle. Nowadays, we don't just have to think about the physical security of the castle. We actually have a cyber security team within Historic Environment Scotland who look after our computers and all our huge archives of historical data. So do you think you can defend Scotland's heritage? Good luck. Over to you, Craig and Daniel.
What do you think of when you think about Scotland? Scotland's heritage is world famous, with millions of people visiting castles and monuments each year. And it's vitally important that we preserve these for generations to come. Now, Scotland is a fantastic country to visit, but you can also work and study here. Our colleges and our universities are among the oldest and the best in the world. And they teach everything from stonemasonry all the way through to cybersecurity. If you're passionate about history, you could learn and study or work in conservation science or climate change, survey, recording, or digital documentation. Or if you're into technology, you can study computing science or learn about artificial intelligence or even study to be a game developer. How cool would that be? Plus, Scotland isn't just about work. It's got beautiful scenery, it's got exciting cities, and it's got really friendly people as well. It is a great place to live and work. And yeah, you can even work somewhere like here. So today, you're going to find out what it's like to defend Scotland's castles from a cyber attack. You're going to learn about these medieval defences, and you're also going to learn about modern cybersecurity practices. Now, we've been delighted to be given a grant award today that allows us to do this, and it's part of the Scottish Connections Fund, and that allows us to play this interactive game with you today. Now, our game is based on a real-life cyber job, that of a cybersecurity architect. So they are the people who decide what defences to put in place and where. Oh, here we go, Craig. We better get to our cyber stations. It's time to defend Stirling Castle. Stirling Castle, what a place to defend. So to play with us today, you need to head to menti.com and enter the code that's at the top of the screen. Craig, are your security systems online? We ready to go?
Yes, systems are online. I'm ready, Daniel. So,
Fantastic.
if you're joining us today, if you're on social media, you can post us a message using the hashtag Scottish Connections and tag us at DigiSkillsEd. We love to see people taking part along with us. And we have people taking part from all over today, Daniel. We've had people joining us right throughout the day as well. We've had some clans earlier on. If you're back from the Sigma clan or the Bloodline or Clan Chickens, you're welcome to play with us again. But we have a few people joining us this time, Daniel. I can see Cindy from Guildford e-learning, part of Clan MacLeod. Thank you for joining us. And also a shout out from the Donut Frosting with Sprinkles clan, which is a very traditional clan in Scotland. It's Jasmine as well. Thank you for joining us.
I can see we've got some other clans here. We've got Clan Chan, I Tiger, Kind Superhero, and we've also got the Northwest High Huskies joining as well.
And Chloe has also just joined a second ago, Daniel, from the clan I Tiger.
Fantastic. So our international security operations team has been assembled. That's you. And we are all part of the network security team today. So we're going to have to put in place some cyber defenses that are going to keep the castle's computer systems safe from a cyber attack. So we're going to be asking you some questions about castle security and how they relate to modern cybersecurity practice.
Yeah, so why is Stirling Castle's location so good? So, the first thing we need to think about is the building where we might put our computer systems. Now, these machines are critical infrastructure and their location needs to be carefully chosen. And choosing a location with security in mind is nothing new. The original builders of Stirling Castle had to think about that too. Look at this photo of Stirling Castle. Now, you can see from the photo that Stirling Castle is built high up on a crag and tail. Now, my question for you, which I'm going to put onto your Menti, is why do you think this location is good when it comes to defending a castle from invaders? So, what is it about this that would make it would make it a good location if you were trying to defend the things inside it?
So while you're typing in your responses, let's bring in Kirsten. So Kirsten is a learning officer at Historic Environment Scotland who look after Stirling Castle. And Kirsten actually works at the castle. Hi, Kirsten. I've established a secure connection. You're good to go?
Hi, Daniel. Hi, Craig. Hi, everyone else.
So, Kirsten, you're going to be keeping us all right when it comes to castle security today. And our security team has been suggesting some different reasons why this clifftop location is good for defending the castle.
So, someone in the team, Kirsten, has suggested the fact that it's elevated and isolated is probably a good thing.
Absolutely, yeah, because it is on a hill, a volcanic plug. So, yeah, a good place to build a castle.
That's great. We'll take a few more suggestions here and then I'll get you to, because I know you'll know the expert answer. So, here's some more recommendations. So, someone suggested maybe the high mountains have made it harder to get to the castle. You know, it's not as close to a lot of other things. It's not right next to the city. So, you maybe have to go out a little bit as well. Someone suggested that it's hard to scale those rocks around the outside of the castle. Yeah, that'd be really difficult to climb up as well. And someone agreeing their location would be hard to climb up, making it easier to defend. And yeah, and basically places like this in Scotland, Daniel, might have a little bit more isolation parts, you know, bits that are isolated. So you're not directly you're kind of out there in the middle of the field. You can see in all directions around you.
Yes. So, Kirsten, we've heard from some of the participants, but why is Stirling Castle's location? Why does it make it so secure?
Yeah, so as we're saying, it's up high. So that gives an advantage for the people defending the castle because, as some people have said, you can see for miles around. So it means you can prepare the castle for the actual attack. Climbing up that hill, yes, it's rocks, steep rocks, so it's going to be difficult to attack. And if you think about it in the past, you'd have knights with armor on and chainmail, so that's very heavy to wear to even get up the hill. Without that, it's going to be difficult enough in itself.
Kirsten, it looks like it's sitting on some sort of big rock or something. What is that?
Yeah, so as you said earlier, Craig, it's a crag and tail, so it's a volcanic plug, basically. So we're talking millions of years ago, over 200 million years ago, a volcano erupted there, and the lava cooled down and then it hardened to a rock formation, and that's what the castle stands on today.
Thanks very much, Kirsten. That's really interesting. So, Daniel, how is that related to cybersecurity? Like, does the location matter when it comes to choosing a building for cybersecurity?
Now, even though all of these digital systems we can access from anywhere, physical locations are still actually really important. So modern security architects, they have to think carefully about where they put these computer systems and these networks. So we hold digital copies of lots of very important historical records. Now, these aren't stored in the castle, these are stored in a data center. So I've got a question for you. I'm going to show you two data centers, A and B, and I'd like you to vote for which one you would choose to keep our records safe. So both of these buildings are in Scotland. One of them is on the outskirts of Edinburgh, and the other one is in Glasgow city centre.
I recognise both these buildings, Daniel. So yeah, the one on the left, a building near the outskirts of Edinburgh. I can see it's like a metal building with maybe vents in it, fences, a car park. The one on the right, it's got glass windows. Looks like it's handy in the city centre as well. Interesting.
Yes. So we're going to give you maybe 10 more seconds to get your votes in, and then we're going to take a look at the results. Okay, Craig, let's bring the Mentimeter window back.
Shall I show the results? Let's see, what did you vote? Ooh, so most of you have said, 86% of you have said red, which is A, which is the one on the left. Fantastic. So, Daniel, I can tell you that is a data center in Scotland. That is the type of place where you would be storing sensitive information. But what makes it such a good location?
Yes, so just like with a castle, you want to keep people out and you want to be able to spot any potential intruders. So that data center on the left, it has a high fence that'd be difficult to climb. It is covered in CCTV and it's also quite isolated. So if you see someone outside it, that's a bit strange. You can pay attention to them, that's noticeable. Whereas the one on the right, the one that's in Glasgow, what you can see in that picture there, there's dozens of people outside it at all times of day. It's much more difficult to spot a potential intruder there.
Yeah. And there's even like glass windows, Daniel. Someone could maybe try and look and see what's going on inside, see if they get an idea for the way it's laid out. You wouldn't get close to that other data center building.
No, definitely not.
So I guess whether it's a medieval castle or a modern data center, location can make a big difference in staying safe from intruders. So
let's think about securing this computer network then. So we need to control who gets in, and we also have to make it hard for criminals that want to hack into it. Now, if we look to the past, castles had a similar problem. They only wanted to let certain people in, and they wanted to make it very hard for others to gain entry. So let's bring Kirsten back onto our feed. Welcome back, Kirsten. Kirsten,
Hi.
how did castles control who managed to get into them?
Yeah, so castles like Stirling Castle had one way in and one way out. And that entrance area had lots of defences. So at Stirling Castle, we have a drawbridge, like a lot of castles, which is over a dry ditch. And then you have the gatehouse, and the gatehouse usually has a lot of guards at it. A lot of castles, like Stirling as well, would have 2 or 3 gatehouses. So even if you got through the first one, you've still got another 2 to get through. So layers of protection.
Interesting. Those layers of protection, that's something that we'll come back to when we think about cybersecurity as well. So I've got a question for you, people who are joining in. So I want you to imagine that you were guarding this gatehouse all those years ago. And imagine someone came up to the gatehouse. How might you decide if you should let them in? What would be your security process? So in the Mentimeter, give us suggestions. If someone walked up to the castle, what do you think that you would do to check that they are who they say they are or that they're meant to be here? What would be your security processes? And if you send us an answer, maybe we'll give you a shout out. Make sure you include your name and your clan so we can give you a proper shout out. So this video, this is actually from Stirling Castle. That is the gatehouse just after you go into the castle at the entrance. Is that right, Kirsten?
That's correct, yeah. So before that, you've got the bridge, the dry ditch, and 2 further gatehouses as well before you get to that one.
So one suggestion for security procedures, Daniel, you might ask them a tricky question that someone wouldn't know. So like, okay, you say that you're meant to come in here. Maybe you ask them something that is known. It would only be known if you truly belong there, almost like a phrase or a password.
Yeah, I guess you could even ask them about something really mundane about the castle, like, oh, where's the nearest toilet? And then only people who have been in there before and spent some time would know the answer to that, I guess.
Some more suggestions here. So ID card, an eye scan, or a fingerprint. That might be something we do nowadays. Probably would have not been possible at that time, but maybe an invitation as well. Kirsten, would invitations be used by people?
Absolutely, yeah. So the guards at the gatehouse would have a list of who expected to come in that day. So you had to have an invite and give the correct name to get in to the castle.
Chloe from iTagger has also suggested
Mm.
that. She said asking for ID and what brought them here, and ask of other guards, ask the other guards if they're supposed to be here. Does anyone recognize this person?
There's a similar suggestion from Jasmine in Donuts with Frosting and Sprinkles. I'm not sure if that clan name's extended itself slightly. Jasmine's suggesting maybe a document that shows that they're supposed to be there.
Yeah.
I guess that could be like that letter.
A DNA check as well, possibly
Yeah.
as well. Another recommendation as well. So yeah, having some sort of way that you can identify these people too. It's brilliant. So Daniel, if these are the types of things that would have happened in those systems, what about nowadays? What would be the security processes for protecting our computer systems?
Yeah, so in computer security systems, to keep intruders out, we use identity and access management. And that's just a fancy way of saying we give everyone a unique password and a unique username. Now, if you're picking passwords, the best way to do that is to combine 3 random words. That's the advice from the National Cybersecurity Centre. But sometimes when we're using our devices or our accounts, we use something different to lock them. We use things that are unique to us, like our fingerprints or our faces or our eyes. Now, I'd like to know, what is this type of access control called? So on Mentimeter, you'll see a new question now. Is this kind of access control, is it a CAPTCHA? Is it Imperial Guard? Is it biometric? Or is it token based? You can answer that question now.
It's a security question for you then. What type of security is something like a fingerprint check? CAPTCHA? Imperial Guard? Biometric? Token based?
Okay, Craig, I can see the answers flooding in now.
Fantastic.
Let's give people 10 more seconds and then we'll take a look at the result. Craig, do you use one of these on your devices?
Yeah, I scan my face. So this is, I nearly said the answer there, but another form of this type of security system. Yeah. So but I've also used my keyboard has a touch ID which uses my fingerprint as well. Okay, Daniel, I'm ready to show the results if you are.
Yes, let's go for it. And Craig, it is unanimous. And you're right. So this is biometric security.
I don't think I'm seeing on that in my screen just now, Daniel, but I believe you.
Yes. So this is biometric security, and it is. Oh, can you see it now? There we go.
That's it now.
Yeah.
That's
so biometric security is a form of biological or body measurement. So metric measurement. So it's to do with where things are relative to one another on our body. So our fingerprints, these sensors measure the distance between the sort of the pits and troughs in our fingerprints. And with the face one, it looks at the ratio of the distances between things like our eyes and our mouth and our nose.
That's brilliant, Daniel. So yeah, everyone did a good job there answering that question as well. So let's think about another area of security in the castle. Can we bring Kirsten back, Daniel?
Yes.
Hi, Kirsten.
Hi.
Everyone's doing a great job so far. And I think just take a moment here to say, Daniel, since we're on YouTube, I can see a lot of people are liking playing this activity and giving it a thumbs up. While you're here as well, you can like this video, you can subscribe to our channel as well. Let's continue with the activity. So, Daniel, Kirsten, what's the next layer of security in the castle then? Like, so say you got through the gatehouse, what might happen next? Did
Yes, when you
anyone
start
ever try to like sneak past a guard, like pretending to be someone else?
Perhaps, yeah, there are stories of people maybe going in, trying to get in disguise, so pretending to be somebody else. That is potential, but also in the guard house itself, if you were to get through the first archway, there was actually holes in the ceiling of the gatehouse called murder holes. So the people inside the castle, the guards inside, could actually chuck things down on people's heads, like hot burning oil.
I think we've got a picture of that.
And actually, even actually, the contents of the latrine, and the latrine is the toilet in the castle.
Oh, really? Excellent. So our question for you then is, if you were guarding this castle, what would you drop down a murder hole? So you can tell us, what would you drop down and what is your name and your clan name?
Now you can be creative and inventive here. Like this morning, we had lots of very creative answers to this question. Craig,
Yes,
did you have any
some people
favorite answers that that came up?
Yeah, someone suggested dropping an anvil or something heavy.
Yeah.
Maybe something like that. Some stones. Yeah. Oh, and Northwest Huskies has just suggested anvils as well and heavy rocks.
Kirsty at the Night Clan, slimy gunge. I guess maybe to try and trip up or just disgust the people that are trying to get in. Good suggestion, Kirsten.
Chloe from iTiger suggested that an axe as well, or with rocks and knives. Oh, that would be painful if it was dropped.
Vicious, yeah.
Jasmine's suggesting, could it be dead bodies? I don't know if that ever happened, Kirsten, but maybe other prisoners or people that had snuck in before.
Yes. Or even like rotten meat would be another thing as well.
Oh. Someone suggested porridge.
Do you know what?
Slow you down.
Porridge has a very large specific heat capacity, so porridge would really burn you because it's so dense.
Yeah.
Yeah. Good
We've all
suggestion.
experienced that, having too hot porridge.
And one more suggestion that we'll read out just now, a fishing net, which would really get tangled up in, awkward to get off of you. I think that would really slow down an intruder. So lots of good suggestions for this question.
So that's another layer of security then. And it's interesting, what can we learn from that again about cybersecurity? So Daniel, How could you stop digital intruders? How could you stop some sort of suspicious activity?
Yeah, so computer networks, they can do something similar. Now, that doesn't mean we pour hot oil on the router. There is an appliance, a security tool called an intrusion detection system. And that looks at data as it enters and exits the network. So it watches all of the information going past. And any packets of data that look suspicious, they get blocked and they are not allowed to travel any further into the network. It stops them before they reach the router. Now, Craig, I've been using an intrusion detection system and I have a list of packets going in and out. I've got a log file. Now, one of these
Let's have a
was
look.
blocked. So let's bring that up. And in this log, I can see that one of these packets got blocked. I'd like to know where that packet came from. I'd like to know the origin IP address. So you can tell us that on Mentimeter. And remember, add in your name and your clan name if you'd like a shout out.
So, using this intrusion detection system log, I want you to identify the origin IP of the packet that was blocked. So, look through that table, find the origin IP and tell us. Someone's made a suggestion. That looks correct to me. We'll need a few more just to verify it. If you put your name or your clan name, we can also give you credit for it as well. Yep, another good answer coming in. Looks similar to me.
Yep, these answers are corroborating. They are consistent with one another, which is great.
So the answer I'm seeing here, Daniel, that's been suggested is 118
Mhm.
66 132 185. And Chloe has just confirmed that with us as well. Everybody's saying the same thing, Daniel. That seems to be the blocked one.
Fantastic. And yes, you're right. So if we look at that blocked packet and we work our way across to the origin IP column, that's the one that we find. So that's the packet of information that was suspicious. That's the one that got blocked from entering further into our network.
I'm enjoying this, Daniel, learning all about the different layers of security. So if that's another layer of security added to the network, we've got access control, we've got the intrusion detection system to spot suspicious behavior. I'm trying to think what else we could add. Maybe something
Yeah.
like a trap, okay? A trap for anyone who managed to get in even beyond that point. Now, traps have been around for a long time. Kirsten, did Stirling Castle and castles in Scotland have any traps or tricks to catch attackers?
Oh yeah, there was loads. So like the master mason, who is like the castle architect, would design the for example, the doors in some of the buildings would be kind of smaller, so that anyone attacking that managed to get into the castle, they would have to bend their head down to go through the doorway, whereas the people inside the castle are ready and prepared to fight back, to fight them back. Other things,
So
spiral
is
stair.
that the doorway there
Oh
from
yes, that's one.
Stirling
Yeah,
Castle?
yeah, that's one of our doors. Yeah, down in the north gate, down at the back of the castle. So you can see even just the scale of the door beside the window. How it's quite a small door, not very high. Yeah. So other things, spiral staircases. So the staircases that spiral around inside a tower, they would design them so that they went clockwise, so that anyone attacking, they're going up the stair clockwise, but the people inside the castle, defending the castle, most of them would be right-handed swordsmen. So they're coming down the spiral staircase, so they've got the advantage with their hand to defend the castle. And also with spiral staircases, a lot of them had trip steps. So that's a step with on the actual spiral staircase. It's slightly deeper than the other steps, so that if you're running up, attacking the castle, running up the stairs, you trip on that one that was slightly deeper than the other steps.
Yeah, I experienced this earlier
Mhm.
today. So this was this was the trip step that I encountered in the Great Hall of Stirling Castle, and you can see I had to try and deal with that
Yeah. Craig, have you recovered from that fall yet?
nearly.
Nearly.
And it was you'd have thought I would have seen it because it was bright. It was like white. I guess it
Mhm.
wasn't always that color.
No, no, that's just been painted today just so that staff don't trip on the spiral staircase.
Next time I'll look a bit closer. So, Daniel, computer security architects, they can lay their own traps too.
Yes, so we could create a decoy network that will lure cyber criminals away from more valuable computer systems. And these decoy networks, they're a really good way to distract cyber criminals. So I have another question for you, which I'll pull up on the Mentimeter. And I'd like to know what these kinds of traps are called. Are they honeypots? Are they glue boards? Are they false flags? Or are they phishing baits? Well, you can take a guess now.
So, what are the names for traps that you use to distract cyber criminals? Are they honeypots, glue boards, false flags, or phishing baits? A few more seconds to get your answers in. Got it.
Okay, Craig. I think we've had a good few votes in now. Maybe we could take a look and see what people have said.
Wow. So most people have said honeypots. So honeypots is the highest voted one. And I can tell you that honeypots is the correct answer. Well done. Well done. So what is a honeypot then, Daniel? Then where would you use them?
Yeah, so in a computer system, these decoy traps are called honeypots. And these are usually the closest servers to the internet. So any attacker would spot and investigate it first. So while the cybercriminal is looking around the honeypot, the security team gets an alert, they can have a look, they can investigate it, and they can hopefully catch them before the cybercriminal sees something that's genuine and of value.
I get it. So that you've got that there to distract people, a bit like some of those other traps that are in the castle. Very sneaky, Daniel. Very sneaky. We definitely need to have that on our network.
Yes, exactly. So I've actually just set up a honeypot on our network, and I'm going to show you the network architecture diagram. So this is it here. This is what we use to plan the layout of a physical computer system. I want you to try and identify the name of the honeypot on this network. So what's it called? So when you submit your answer, tell us your name, tell us your clan name, and maybe you'll get a shout out.
So this is the network architecture diagram. This is the type of thing that security architects, network engineers might use to sort of understand. And this is quite a simple one, but a real network architecture diagram can have thousands of machines. And a large organization like Historic Environment Scotland, who looks after Stirling Castle, would have thousands of machines on their networks. But what is the name of the honeypot that Daniel has set up to distract the
Now,
cyber
Craig,
criminals?
I can see a couple different answers coming in. I think Donuts with Frosting and Sprinkles, the Northwest Huskies, iTiger. I think you're definitely on the right path here. I think you've identified the honeypot.
Kind Superhero identified the right honeypot as well. Well done.
Excellent.
So, Daniel, based on the information I'm seeing here, I think that I think the honeypot is and the icon is suitable is Unicorn 001.
Yes, it is. It absolutely is. So Unicorn 001 is the honeypot on our network. So you can see based on the position of that, this network has got layers. It's got that defense in depth approach. So you've got a first firewall, and then you've got an area that you'd expect people outside the organization to be able to access, things like the web server in this DMZ. It's called the demilitarized zone. It's an area where you're kind of on the inside, you're kind of on the outside. It's an area where you put things which you want to be publicly accessible. That's where you put the honeypot because you want the cybercriminals to find it. And then past the next firewall, that's where you've got the really valuable things. That's where the servers are with the archives and people's terminals.
I think our security systems, Daniel, are looking brilliant. We've done everything right. The location is perfect. The defenses are up. Authentication, check. Intrusion detection, check. Decoys, ready and waiting. What could possibly go wrong?
Oh, Craig, you spoke too quickly. Okay. Craig, everyone, we've got a critical situation here. Our systems, they have detected a ransomware attack, which is targeting the castle's defense systems. Craig, this isn't a drill.
Daniel, I can see this on my computer systems now. The ransomware's trying to lock us out of our own systems. Think of the chaos that would cause. Luckily, we've got a network security team there to help us. You are our last line of cyber defense. Okay, let me get this sorted. Right, here's what you need to do. So, the decryption key for this ransomware is a combination of 3 words, and all the words are related to Scotland's heritage. But Daniel, unfortunately, the words have been encoded in a base 64 format.
Oh, no.
And there's like 15 of them. We need to decode them as well. What could we do?
Okay, Craig, I've got a copy of these base 64 encoded words that need decrypted. You're going to have to help us decrypt these words. So there are some tools that you can use to try and decrypt some of these code words. One of them is called CyberChef. The other one is Rapid Tables. These are the kinds of utilities that are used by real cybersecurity experts.
So what you're going to do is you're going to follow those links that are on your Mentimeter to CyberChef and to one of these tools, and you're going to try and type in some of these words and see if they decode to a word to do with Scotland. Maybe we could give a quick demo of this, Daniel.
Yes, good
I'll
idea,
take a
Craig.
note of the word. Okay.
Got it?
Yeah, I've got one.
Perfect. Okay.
So this is CyberChef. You type it in up the top and it appears down the bottom. Try this one, Daniel. Capital T,
Capital T, yes.
lowercase k,
K.
capitals VUV,
VUV, okay.
09,
09. I can see a word starting to form.
Capital S, capital S,
S, okay.
lowercase w.
W. Okay, Craig, so if we look at the output, I can see there's a word there, network. Is that a key?
No, well, it's a word, but it's not a word related to Scotland and Scottish heritage, so we can't use that one. So we need everyone to work through these. Bring up those potential keys, Daniel.
Yes.
Let's see if we can get people to solve these.
Before I bring them up, let me show you the other tool in case you can't get onto CyberChef. So the other website that we linked to is this one here, Rapid Tables. You paste it in or you type it into this box and then you hit decode and you can see where it's already appeared there. It's the word network.
Get those words up. We've only got a few minutes, Daniel, before this ransomware takes hold.
The timer, what's it? School, it's less than 5 minutes, Craig.
Okay. Right. Let's see how we can get on. So you're going to be using CyberChef or you're going to be using Rapid Tables. You want to change it from base 64 to, you just want to decode it from base 64.
Yes, I can see lots of people are busy trying to decrypt these words.
I'm monitoring the ransomware here, Daniel. We've still got a couple of minutes, but we need to hurry.
Yeah, so we need to find words that are related to Scotland's heritage. Okay, Craig, we've got quite a few people who are taking part just now. Mm-hmm. Maybe we could be smart. Maybe we could try and split it up. So maybe some of you could try working from in different places on the grid. Mm-hmm. So we're not all trying the first one first.
Yeah, maybe the Northwest Tigers could take the top line. Remember, when you send us the words, tell us your name as well, so that we can give you some credit. Someone's copy and pasted the actual key, but we need We need you to decode it. So someone's got a word that might be worth trying. We'll give it a minute.
Okay.
Oh,
Okay, Craig. That's
I
interesting.
can see one that's come in. What are
Yeah.
you seeing?
Yeah, I can see someone saying that one that starts with VEH, the one on the bottom left.
Uh-huh.
There's two people have said that might be thistle. Thistle's
Right,
quite a
try it.
Scottish word. Should we try it,
Yeah,
Craig?
thistle,
Okay,
of course.
thistle. Okay, let's see if this will do. Here we go. Type it in.
Yes.
Okay,
Yes.
good.
Okay, one down.
One
just
down.
two to go. Two to go. So let's get at least one other one of these words. Well done, whoever did that. Jasmine, thank you. You've sent us in thistle and firewall and digital and dreich, Daniel.
Dreich. Oh,
Jasmine is saying dreich.
Dreich.
Now that's a Scots word, isn't it?
Yeah, that's a kind of a weather condition. It's if
Yeah,
it's
it means
sort of
like
a
damp, doesn't
damp,
it? Like,
yeah, damp, grey, overcast.
oh, we should
day,
try
yeah,
that.
dreich.
That's definitely a Scottish
Okay.
word.
Right, Craig, shall I type it in?
Yeah, go for it.
Okay, here we go. Fingers crossed.
Yes. Yes. Right.
Okay, 2 down, one more.
Okay, 2 down, 1 to go. One more to go. Okay. Jasmine sent in another one, Daniel. Storage. Storage. I don't know if that's Scottish.
Yeah. Now we only get a few goes here.
Maybe
So
if it was spotting.
let's wait and see what other words come up first
Okay.
before we try storage. But thank you for telling us that one. We'll keep it on the list, but I'm hoping for something that's more obviously Scottish. I don't want to waste my attempts.
Let's check in with what you're saying. Daniel, I think the Northwest Huskies have sent in an idea.
Oh, I like this one, Craig. So the Northwest Huskies, they've suggested tartan.
Tartan. Tartan. That's definitely Scottish,
Okay.
Daniel. Try that.
Yeah. Okay, right. Here we go. Key in the lock. Yes, Craig.
Yes. Does that all three of them then? So we've got-
Oh, that just decrypted it, Craig. It just happened.
fantastic. Oh, we did it. So, I'm so glad we've done that, Daniel. So what's happened?
Yeah, brilliant, everyone. So what we've done is we managed to find these decryption keys when we've stopped that malware dead in its tracks.
Fantastic. You did a great job. You've defended Stirling Castle from a cyber attack. We couldn't have done it without you. Listen, you've learned about different layers of cybersecurity. We've spoken about choosing a secure location. That's the best place to start. Then we've spoken about different types of access control. And then we learned a little bit about intrusion detection systems as well, and the traps that cybersecurity people might set for attackers, things like honeypots and decoys. And not only that, you then put your knowledge into practice and helped us stop cyber criminals from unleashing ransomware across the whole Historic Environment Scotland network. We did it, Daniel.
Yes, you did it. So we haven't quite finished though. We have one more final task for you to do. We would love you to give us your feedback. So there'll be some questions appearing on your device now. It'd be great if you could spend a couple of minutes filling those in. Let's bring back Kirsten. Kirsten,
You'll
thank
never
you
believe
for your
what just
time.
happened, Kirsten.
No. You just missed something very dramatic, Kirsten. So, Kirsten, thank you for your time today. It's been great having you answer all of our questions about the history of the castle and how it was secured. Thank you again.
Thank you to the Scottish Connections Fund for supporting this live lesson. If you've been inspired by today's game, I hope you'll come to Scotland and visit Stirling Castle, maybe even choose to study or work here. You can play all our games on our website anytime. We've got more cybersecurity lessons, but we also do stuff like data science, artificial intelligence, and coding. If you're a teacher, thank you for playing along with us today, and I hope you'll use this with your class as well. You'll be able to access this video, but you can also play through the game on the website at your own pace. We have a game for that as well, but thank you for joining us to do that.
Yes. Now, Craig, you mentioned earlier that we're coming to you via YouTube today. Be great if you could smash that like button and subscribe to our channel. That means you'll get a notification whenever we're going live with other educational workshops, just like this one.
Yeah, definitely smash that like button, subscribe to us for more videos like this.
But for now, we're coming towards the end of our session. Craig, I'd like to make sure that we have a chance to get through our credits with all of the groups taking part today before 10:02 our finish time. So for now, it's
You'll
bye
be
from
able to take a
Kirsten.
screenshot of
Yes.
that, Daniel, as well, so that you could share that on social media. That's your certificate to
Yes,
prove you were
you
taking
can-
part.
And if you share it, you can mention us at DigiSkillsEd and use the hashtag Scottish Connections. But for now, it's bye from Kirsten.
Bye, everyone.
It's bye from Craig.
Bye-bye.
And it's bye from me as well. See you next time.